Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. So this is a presentation video for the international business and globalization subject. So before proceeding, I would like to mention that there will be two people that will be involved in this presentation, which is Kerry Christy Denver and me myself, Nur Suzy binti Junaidi. Right, so this presentation is about critical incident in international business, which is negligent supervision. Okay, this is the table of contents that I will be that me and my partner will be presenting. Okay, the first one is the introduction about how the incident happened, and review incidents, the main points in the incidents, incident analysis, the proposed solution, and lastly the conclusion. Alright, so this is the news that we will be referring to, and this news was posted 3 years ago, which is on November 15, 2018. Okay, so this is from the website theage.com.au, which entitled Power Plant Owner Accused of Disregarding Safety of the Worker's Death. Okay, so the incident went like this. Okay, one of the power station worker, Graham Edwards, died after a high voltage circuit breaker exploded on him around 4 p.m. on Monday. So at that time, he was performing a procedure known as racking. So racking involves manually winding the circuit into place, but unfortunately, it suddenly turned on and burst into flames and burned most of his body. And one of the staff, which was traumatized by the incident, says that the power station owner has refused to implement a safety provisions in response. There were other staff that says the incident was the third time in 18 months that a circuit breaker had exploded, but thankfully no one was hurt in the first two blasts. So Mr. Edwards' best mate, Brad Williamson, who worked with him at the Yallourn plant for decades, said that the incident was extremely abnormal to have 3 circuit breaker explosions in 18 months. So apart from that, the union secretary, Geoff Dyke, also said that the combination of an aging plant, poor maintenance, and a disregard for safety had led to a significant higher rate of failures, including electrical fires and transformer explosions. So the secretary, Mr. Dyke, also said that Yallourn Power Station has a history of electrical equipment failures. Not only that, Mr. Dyke also said that workers at the plant were not provided with the most up-to-date protective gear, which including the arch flash suits, which is similar to what the bomb disposal workers use. So at that time, workers were refusing to operate the circuit breaker until their safety could be ensured, because they were worried about the incident, which is the death of Graham Edwards. So all of the workers are calling for the company to implement a stronger safety measures on the remaining plant unit. Okay, so referring to these incidents, it can be categorized as negligent supervision. where negligent supervision can be defined as the failure of employer to control and monitor the employee's action. So this critical incident occurred in the Yallourn Power Station at Victoria's Latrobe Valley, and the employer neglect the needs of special personal protective equipment (PPE) for electrical circuit, so which then led to the death of their worker, Graham Edwards, on 13 November. Graham Edwards had worked at the power station for over 30 years. Okay, so next is the chronology of the events. Okay, so on November 12, 2018, at 3:48 p.m., the arch flash occurs, and the first aid was immediately arrived on the scene. Okay, at 3:52 p.m., the power station rescue team reaches Mr. Edwards, and at 4:06 p.m., the police and ambulance arrive, and 8 minutes later, which is at 4:14 p.m., the ambulance officers start treating Mr. Edwards. Okay, so the investigators of Works of Victoria arrived to investigate the incidents at 5:30 p.m. Okay, at 5:46 p.m., the air ambulance leaves Yallourn with Mr. Edward on board, and it took 34 minutes for the ambulance to arrive at Alfred Hospital in Melbourne. Okay, so but unfortunately, at November 13, 2018, at 12 p.m., Mr. Edwards dies at the Alfred Hospital in Melbourne. Okay, so this is the review incidents, which is first, the owner of the Yallourn Power Station failed to act on the explosion warnings, which then led to the death of their worker that have worked there for 30 years. Okay, so due to equipment fault. Graham Edwards' death was caused by exploded of a high voltage circuit breaker. He was exposed to extreme heat up to 20,000 degrees Celsius, which then led to his body to severely burn. Right. So the internal assessment has been prepared and recommended that the station prepare a better personal protective equipment for the unit controller, which is Graham Edwards' job. But the recommendation is not acted by the Yallourn Power Station. Okay, apart from that, a former worker of the power station stated how the station always denied any request for special PPE that can protect from arch flash explosions. So from here, you can see that the owner of the power station neglect the needs of his employee. Okay, so there are also one of the workers also mentioned that the station failed to provide a safe work environment not only to Mr. Edwards but also to other workers.
So for the incident analysis, the company announced that they actually have a new security feature and they can make sure that the incident does not happen in the future. The company also could not be prosecuted because the management said that they could not ensure the safety of each employee was always in a safe state. So at the end of this case, there is no justice for Edward. Even the company where Edward worked is not prosecuted at all, and until now there is no solution. From the case, we suggest a purpose solution. First, ask the management to regularly review the access of the adequacy of the existing safety control and equipment, particularly for the high-risk work activities. From this case, we know that the request of the provision of the safety clothing by employee is not entertained by the superior. So, HR need to ensure that every report received reaches by superiors and ensure that they are sensitive, caring and investigate complaints from the employees regarding to the provision of safety equipment in the workplace. From this case, Edward family could not be compensated after the accident, so Human Resources advised the superior to provide appropriate compensation to the victim's family because every employee has their own right. What else regarding to the right to claim the death of their family?
So, in conclusion, right, human resource plays a vital role as a mediator to deal with critical incidents in the workplace. Okay, human resource has the right to maintain the safety and health of employees, have the authority to monitor programs and activities related to occupational safety and health, because the involvement of all relevant parties in the operational and administrative, and also in monitoring training and selection in the workplace. So lastly, human resource represents the department in dealing with another party of the organization, whether it is the external body or internal body, and maintains the position of employees in their services. It means that employees' rights must be respected and safeguarded by following the legal provisions, procedures, policy, rules, and also regulations. So that is all from us. Thank you and have a nice day. Stay safe.